I went paddleboarding on Friday. How many of you know there's cicadas right now? Yeah? I was paddleboarding. I think paddleboarding is like really good for like my mental health. I just get out in the water and I paddle and it just helps me. Along the way, I saw a cicada and it was drowning. And I began to feel really bad for the cicada. So I scooped it up and put it on my paddleboard. And then about 20 feet later, I saw another one and another one and another one. I began to feel less bad for them. By the end of I had 7 of them on my paddleboard. And they would like dry off enough and build their energy enough and then fly off. Except for 2 of them. I brought the 8th one on. I scooped it up with my paddle and put it on the paddleboard, and instantly it bumped into another one. You know what they did? They started smacking into each other and they both fell off the paddleboard. You and I are drowning in a world of sin. We just are. And we cannot make it to shore on our own. Can't. And God comes along with this beautiful thing called salvation. And he accompanies it with a wonderful thing called a church. And he scoops lost, drowning, hurting individuals up out of the drowning in their own sin. And he puts them together in a place. And we attack and bite and devour in each other and knock each other off the paddleboard, and we drown again. All the time. If I'm going to receive grace, I need to give grace. The cicadas that were willing to just let me scoop them up and put them on the paddleboard and just rest until they flew off and landed in the woods every time. The 2 that were unhappy that the other one was on the board, both fell off. You and I are drowning in our sins. And we're drowning in a culture full of sin. And God comes along and he scoops us up and he says, rest. And if we won't give grace to each other, we end up knocking ourselves off of his wonderful thing called the church all the time. And we wonder why we're alone. And we wonder why we're floating. We wonder why we're drowning. And the whole time, there's something right beside us for us. The whole time. We need to be people who give each other grace. If I receive grace, I need to give grace. If God forgives me for my sins that I'm so lost in, and he gives me salvation. He takes his paddle of salvation, he scoops me up, and he gives me a church to land in and rest in and relax in and gain strength in. And I need to give grace to the people who are on there with me. Why? Because they're all the same. You're hurting, I'm hurting. We all have past problems. We all have past drama. We all have past weight in our life that's crushing us and pulling us down. So we've got to be people who give grace to each other. The cicadas that were willing to just rest made it to shore. The 2 that instantly attacked each other fell off. The Christians that are willing to just rest and gather together and let each other have space to grow and to rest and to recover, they're the Christians that gain that strength to fly where they were intended to fly the whole time.